Well, this is going to be the shortest one yet, but anyway, all that bullet bullshit was bullshit. Basically, BBs, because they use the Magnus effect, they've got everything they need to make them travel farther. You'd need to either increase the weight, and then you'd be causing too much damage to people, and blah blah blah. You need to shoot them faster, and then you'd have to reduce the weight. Anyway, after watching the YouTuber CG Kid describe his experiences with crystal meth, I think it's hard to deny that dopamine is what I'm lacking, not serotonin. I've been convinced in the past that if I only had the right philosophical breakthrough, this would solve my problem, but I think this has already happened, with the understanding that subjective experience is all that matters, and everything we do is or should be done to make us feel a certain way. I imagine the way to test whether dopamine is the root cause of the problem, what I'm saying is, I think I've already had that breakthrough, the only breakthrough I should need, and hasn't really done it, so. I imagine the way to test whether dopamine is the root cause of the problem is to take a biomarked form of tyrosine and then step into a brain scanner or something, and then see how much of that tyrosine, if any, got converted into dopamine. I wonder whether just ingestion of tyrosine would be enough to actually raise my dopamine levels in the first place, but this is unlikely because everyone else, including past me, got by with tyrosine found naturally in food, especially meat products. I think that's where it comes from. Fish as well, something, I don't know. Perhaps then it is the enzyme that converts tyrosine into dopamine, or one of the many in the dopamine cycle, which I am lacking, or is slacking. Maybe, so, if that is the case, if it's one of the, because obviously it goes phenylalanine, tyrosine, L-dopa, then dopamine. So it could be any of the enzymes involved in converting those up to dopamine, or it could be it could be an overactive enzyme that breaks down dopamine, but then I think I'd feel at least some effects of the dopamine. But maybe it's a combination of both, maybe it's not. Probably it's unlikely to be a combination. It's probably, it could be an overactive degradation enzyme, I guess. But listening to this guy talk about talk about how fantastic meth made him feel, described almost every aspect of my experience that seems to be missing, and I find it deeply offensive that after all that abuse, his brain is the one able to enjoy life, and is far better suited to conventional success in the world, even if this means being an annoyingly mediocre rapper. But if cases like this don't make people realise that it really is just luck with regards to your neurochemistry that determines how happy you get to be, then I don't know what will. He also mentioned the ability to find mundane things like calculus interesting, was able to practice extreme focus, and had an insatiable drive and felt like he was incredibly important, all things that geniuses seem to feel naturally. Maybe that's a big component of genius, exceptionally high dopamine levels. So that's it, and I'll see if I can do anything about that. Probably not. Don't know.